experience where together we can explore the mysteries of music. Without your presence, this will be impossible. I appreciate you tuning in to be part of our program.
Welcome to the Rodney Appleby Experience, broadcasting live every Tuesday night, 7 to 8 p.m. with the one, the only Rodney Appleby. And now, Mr. Rodney Appleby.
Okay. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Rodney Appleby Experience here at 106 Live Radio. This is going to be a fun conversation. I have a guest with me tonight, and last week when I was broadcasting, I talked a little bit about how music has transitioned from analog recording to digital recording, how the music business changed. We went from recording in large studios to actually being able to record at home. As you can see, I'm here at my own little personal lab where I can actually produce the music you were just listening to that was playing before the show started. That's music that was produced right here from this studio. So this week, me and my guest, and I'll introduce him to you later and let him tell you a little bit about himself. We're going to be talking about things evolving now. Since back in the 90s, when the digital thing kind of caught on and became very substantial, we're living in a time now where things have evolved quite interestingly. And I'm not sure if all of it is to the benefit of the artist. I know that when things transition from analog to digital, it put a lot of opportunity in the hands of the artists themselves. One of the biggest changes was the cost prohibitive studio time was eliminated from the mix, and one could be at home at one's leisure recording whenever the spirit hits. And so now we're living in the age of AI. And there's some interesting developments in music that's taking place that we're going to be talking about. We're also going to be sharing some experiences having been in the music industry and in the music business and entertainment business for quite some time, and some of the things that we've experienced and how those things are being affected with the developments that are taking place right now. So it's going to be an interesting conversation. And I would love for you guys to feel free to call in, ask questions. The number is 404-464-8785. And feel free to call in. There's also a live chat line. You can leave, comment, leave comments. And just so you guys know, here at 106 Live Radio and the Rodney Appleby Experience, we do welcome all contributors, all donors, sponsors, anyone that cares to support the show. So once again, welcome to the Rodney Appleby Experience. And as always, you guys, if you find that something we're talking about is of direct interest to you, we encourage you to call in and share your thoughts and your feelings. My name, Rodney Appleby, and I personally have seen many, many, many changes in the actual music industry, from the size of speakers being gigantic to little tiny speakers and little things now that seem to be having the same, or at least a similar output. So there's been a lot of changes in the music business. So when we come back, I'm going to introduce our guest to you tonight, and we're going to have this conversation about the developments in music and how those things are affecting artists, what opportunities they're providing, what opportunities they may be taking away, and how things are now progressing along, and what that might look like as things continue to evolve, and how the future of music may unfold. So I want you guys to make sure you call in, stay with us, and when we come back, we're going to actually have this conversation, because I've been speaking with different people over the past week or so, and there's been some interesting points made about things, and specifically how it seems as if we've gone up the hill with the developments in music and now seem to be possibly heading on a downhill slope. So I'd love to hear from you guys and find out if there's some experiences you're having that might actually shed some light on these developments in music and technology, and how those things are unfolding and how they may affect what we do and how we do it, when we do it, where we do it, or if we get a chance to do it. So when we come back from our station break, let's have the conversation, y'all. 464-464-8785 is the number. And I encourage you to call in and share your thoughts and your feelings. So we're going to be right back with the station break. And when we come back, I'm going to introduce you to our guest and hopefully have him present maybe some of his work, so we can get familiar with what he's doing, and then talk a little bit about where things are going. So don't you guys go away. Here at 106 Live Radio, the Rodney Appleby Experience.
Greetings. This is Rodney Appleby, host of the Rodney Appleby Experience. To bring you quality programming, interesting guests, and entertaining performances, your support is very important. Donations, large and small, are always welcome. Sponsors are an important part of our ability to provide you the kind of experience you deserve. Please go to 106liveradio.com/Rodney. There, you'll find a link to support the Rodney Appleby Experience. While tuned in on YouTube, please hit the like button and subscribe for alerts and updates. And you can download the 106 Live Radio app to receive notices of upcoming podcasts. And once again, thank you for your support.
106liveradio.com. Call us now at 404-464-8785.
Download the 106 Live Radio app from your Google Play Store. Or find us on the TuneIn app.
From the mind of Rodney Appleby.
Through demonstrations and concepts, you're invited inside my mind to experience rhythms and grooves that I believe will soothe your soul. Call us on air here at 404-464-8785.
From the mind of Rodney Appleby. Broadcasting live from Atlanta every Tuesday, 7 to 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Meet us right here on 106 R&B and Throwbacks, powered by 106liveradio.com. And now, here is your host, Mr. Rodney Appleby.
So welcome back, everybody. So glad you're here. So I'd like to bring on our guest, and I'd like to introduce to you Mr. Percy Jones. We call him PJ. Percy, are you there?
Yes, sir. Can you hear me?
How's it going?
Good, man. It's good to see you, brother.
It's good to see you too, Percy. It's been actually a long time.
Yes, sir. Yes,
since
sir.
we last saw each other. And I think the last time we were hanging out together, we were in the studio together doing some work.
Yes, we were at GCR working on a rock project, as a matter of fact, with the very famous engineer Nick Lagona before he passed away.
Absolutely. And may he rest in peace. He was truly a great engineer and producer. And I really enjoyed working with him. So tell us a little bit about what you've been up to these days, Percy.
Well, I've been going back and forth between here and Japan, America and Japan, for about the last 18 to 20 years. And I'm getting ready to settle back into the States soon, because I want to start to open up a rehearsal studio here in Buffalo, New York. And I'm getting all the stuff together right now, the designs and the ideas. So I'm getting my team together first to help me get things rolling. But it's a labor of love that I've had for a long time. I wanted to start it like around 2020, but that when the pandemic hit, I was stuck over in Asia. Nobody could fly anywhere, so it was kind of crazy. So
yeah,
I'm back.
Yeah, that seemed to put a lot of blockage on a lot of things that people were doing. The pandemic was a true global interruption.
Yes, sir.
So it's good to see you back on track, man.
Yeah, man.
So where are you right now?
Right now, I'm located in my home studio out here in Clarence, New York, just outside of Buffalo. And I'm right now just getting back to being in Western New York and associate myself in the music scene again, because I've been around. You know, I played in your bands forever when I was here. Rodney Appleby, me, you, and Big Gordy. Big shout out to Gordy out in Vegas, an excellent drummer and a good brother that we've known for years. We played with some everybody, and getting a chance to play with you was an amazing opportunity. And now I'm back home, just stretching my wings out, doing some work right now at Pilgrim Baptist Church with my pastor, Frank Bostic, working on a project with him, and I'm also playing there every Sunday. Just getting, like I said, I'm getting reacclimated back to some things. Also, just finished working on a project with my buddy David Johnson in the inner city Bedlam.
Okay.
That I'm on the CD that was just released, and we did a turkey drive over the holiday, and just like I said, get back into the crust of being back home and letting musicians and other people know that I'm back and I'm available and ready for business.
Good. Percy, last week, my podcast was about the transition from analog music, analog recording, to digital music and digital music production, digital recording, and the kinds of changes that ushered in within the music business, the kind of changes and opportunities it provided for artists like ourselves. And one of the big things that changed was we didn't have to sit in huge studios at exorbitant prices anymore. We could actually very effectively record some pieces. I even did a little quick demonstration last week and recorded a little something just to show how the DAWs work. And what I want to ask you is, since that was all the way back in the 90s, and now we're all the way in the 2020s, and what kind of evolution do you see taking place technologically and musically and just kind of within the music culture? What changes do you see taking place?
Well, what I see mainly, especially on the technology side, is that they're making it really, really advantageous and easier a platform to step into for the average consumer that wants to tinker into being a songwriter or producer. So the technology has changed a lot now, where I noticed that most DAW systems have presets, EQ presets, mixing presets. So then that way it takes the learning curve down a whole lot more, and it's almost like spoon feeding the situation to whoever's running the DAW system in their home studio that may not have the engineering experience or school for the knowledge.
I talked a little bit about that last week, meaning the plugins, the software bundles, that come part and parcel, or that some you may have to purchase separately. But these bundles, these plugins, actually represent the massive amounts of expensive equipment that used to be needed in order to get a quality recording done. Various preamps, microphones, amplifier models, just different kinds of things that even spatially, just to store that stuff, to just have a place to put it, would be very cumbersome. And so the digital aspect of that really did put a lot of that right in our hands. And not only in our hands, but by it being part of the software package, like you said, it almost spoon-fed it to us so that we didn't have to have that huge learning curve of learning every piece of equipment, every little parameter, and all those things. And then you talked about the presets, where a lot of things which have been known to be industry standard, now they actually come almost set up that way. So tell me a little bit about what you're working with these days.
Right now the DAW system I'm using is Logic, but also I've been dipping and dabbling with Wave software as well, which creates VST plugins, for example. Like you were talking about the affordability of now being able to record at home compared to the exorbitant amount we used to pay for studio time. For example, the Neve consoles and the Neve, those different type of analog consoles that were flagship consoles for major recording studios. Those consoles alone with 72 input channels were almost $4 million. So that's why the what you paid $100, $150, $200 an hour was to balance off the cost of buying a console like that. Now you can go through a VST and they break it down to one strip. A VST breaks it down to one strip, everything you need, everything that was on the console before. the EQ bus, the gate bus, just everything.
Now, just for the listening audience, can you clarify for us what VST represents?
VST basically represents a way of getting a pre-manufactured or digital pre-manufactured either sound EQ package or a simulation of a sound or mic simulations, amp simulations, that kind of thing, where you could take those those things and plug it directly into the DOS system that you're using, and manipulate it however you want to after you have it in your DOS system. Some of them are paid for. Some of you have to like waves. You got to pay for waves. Some you pay for, and then some like the DOS, Logic comes with a lot of incredible stuff already built in, adaptive limiters, compression, noise cancellation, and the list goes on and on. So,
Percy, we were last week when I was talking a little bit about the DAWs, the digital audio workstations. I was talking about the simplicity of it and how it really did kind of open the door. Well, I want to maybe run something by you and get your impression on something.
Sure.
Nowadays, it's not just digital anymore. Now we're operating in an environment where there's also artificial intelligence.
Yes.
Now with artificial intelligence, just like with the DAWs that came loaded with the plugins and all of the various presets and things that made it really, really convenient for us to produce quality material.
Right.
AI is having a slightly different effect. You care to share your ideas or your thoughts on how AI is affecting the evolution of music production?
Well, the first time I experienced the AI effect on things that I wanted to work on in my own personal studio setup was when I was introduced to Ozone. Ozone.
What was it?
Ozone.
Ozone.
Ozone. Ozone
Gotcha.
is a mastering software. So then that way you could do digital mastering at home without having to send your mixes out to be mastered.
Wow.
But the AI software, they have an AI software that's built into Ozone. For instance, you run your final mix, your 2-track stereo mix through the software. It plots out everything, a graph of your all the EQ points, the highs, the lows, the volume balances, and everything. And then the AI will do some corrections.
Oh boy.
To say, okay, maybe you need to balance out the bass here, and maybe boost more low mids here, or boost the highs here. And then they will ask you a question and say, do you prefer this mix? And if you prefer that mix, you can say yes, and then it'll within seconds give you that mix. And when you play it back, it's like, wow. Or now you could do a comparative mix, say, because a lot of times when you go into the studio and you're getting ready to do your mixing, you'll have comparative stuff that you'll play in the background, like some Quincy Jones albums or something like that. For instance, one of your favorite songs is "Rock with You" by Michael Jackson or something, and you have a song that has a similar pocket, almost similar rhythm, and the BPMs is very close. You can have the AI in Ozone sample "Rock with You," the whole spectral outlay of it, the EQ, the volume, and everything, and attach it to your mix.
So So let me ask you this, Percy.
Yeah.
With that kind of technology, what happens to the skill set of the producer? What happens?
That is a good question, because you have people who spent years going to school to pay for it, learning how to, learning the math about, okay, if you count how many feet from the back wall to the front wall, or what kind of delay will create at this BPM setting. Learning, that eliminates all that altogether. Totally.
Wow. Listen, Percy, we're going to take a brief pause. And when we come back, I would like for you to maybe share some of your material with us, and let's talk about some of the things you're producing these days.
Sure, no problem.
So when we come back, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to have Mr. Percy Jones share some of his creative work with us. And so don't you guys go away. This should be fun.
.106liveradio.com, where excitement meets diversity 24/7. Today's R&B and throwbacks.
Broadcasting live from Atlanta while serving the entire globe. It's the fastest growing radio on the web. It's 106liveradio.com.
Hey, it's your girl Stephanie J, and I'm going to show you this year how to take your life to the next level during my live coaching sessions. Join me every Wednesday at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and get a taste of coaching with a flair. Real life coaching with the authentic you in mind. It's time for you to step it up. I will see you in the room. Live coaching with Stephanie J on 106 Live Radio, where excitement meets diversity 24/7.
We've all felt left out. And for people who move to this country, that feeling lasts more than a moment. We can change that. Learn how at belongingbeginswithus.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
Ow! Did you know over 2,000 eye injuries occur on the job site every day, and about 1 in 10 of them require missed work days to recover? Of the total amount of work-related eye injuries, 10 to 20% will cause temporary or permanent vision loss in affected employees. And while many people think that eye injuries primarily occur in manufacturing, construction, or trade jobs, nearly 40% of work-related eye injuries occur in offices, healthcare facilities, laboratories, and similar environments. Flying objects, tools, particles, chemicals, and harmful radiation are the causes of most eye injuries. And in many cases, implementing safe work practices and utilizing appropriate personal protective equipment to prevent them entirely. We here at GTG Traffic Signals believe something as simple as putting on a pair of safety glasses can prevent serious eye injuries. These injuries are painful, cause many lost work days, and sometimes lead to permanent vision loss. This message is sponsored by GTG Traffic Signals, located in Marietta, Georgia. Reminding you today and year-round, remember to wear your safety glasses. Our 106 Live Radio platform is fully equipped with the best and latest in broadcasting technology to ensure that what our listeners hear is always HD quality. Hashtag Team 106 is dedicated to bringing diverse programs and professional on-air personalities. We are your hidden gem.
106liveradio.com, Atlanta.
Help me find a way through this darkness to the light of day. So much distraction, all around. Got me standing, shaking.
No interpretation, see it your way. Do what you feel.
All right. Welcome back, everybody. So, on this segment, Percy, there was an event that happened in Buffalo that was rather tragic and traumatic for a lot of people.
Yes, sir.
When a young man rolled into town and shot up a grocery store and killed a few people. And this is around the 1-year anniversary of that having taken place.
Yep.
And I understand that you've produced a piece of music that is it's kind of in commemoration of that, or it represents your thoughtfulness about that event. And I'm hoping at the station, I sent an email through Source Wellness to get an MP3. Can you tell me the title of the piece that you wrote for that event?
The title is called The Hunted.
The Hunting?
The Hunted.
The Hunted.
Yeah, Hunted. Yeah.
The Hunted.
Yeah.
And the event that happened in Buffalo inspired you to write that piece?
Those events and other events like the young man that lost his life in Minneapolis with the police officer with his knee on his neck. It was just a combination of a lot of things that was happening in the African American community, dealing with unarmed people and dealing with really outrageous racial overtones to the point where senseless violence came about, and it just seemed so unnecessary. And I just thought, I was full of rage, and then I was full of sadness, and there's so many things that that experience will have you feeling. Thank God we, as musicians, we have a way to express those things through our music and let those feelings out, because I think the average person who doesn't have that kind of outlet, they may suffer longer than we do as artists, and as artists, I think we have a responsibility to be a reflection of what's going on in our society, so, I mean, I've learned through experiences to listen to Marvin Gaye growing up and learning the story about how he had to fight with Motown to put that record out about what's going on, because at first they didn't want to take a stance, talk about what was some political things at that time that was a little sensitive.
Yeah, and concerned about the profit margin, of course.
Yes, that too.
And yet, so many times in the music industry, the things that the executive hesitate about oftentimes become some of the largest selling pieces of music on the market. For example, Sitting on the Dock of the Bay by Otis Redding. It was a piece of music that they just wasn't really interested in putting out. And it turned out to be one of his biggest pieces.
Biggest hits, huge.
What's Going On is one of Marvin Gaye's most well-known songs, other than Let's Get It On.
Okay. Now.
There's been incidences like that. There's some incidences with the Beatles, and other groups that have been treated as if, well, maybe not, and then it turns out to be a big thing.
Huge thing.
So I'd like to ask the studio, do we have a queue up of The Hunted? Is that available? If we have that available, I'd like to cue that up and maybe give it a spin so we can hear what Percy has been working on. And tell us a little bit about the tune, Percy. Tell us a little bit about it. We know it was inspired by several events, but tell us a little bit about the song itself, your experience in recording it, producing it.
Well, sound like they're playing a little bit of it in the background here. They just got to turn it up. Yeah, like the first verse says, "When I leave my house." There it is. Let it play first.
Okay, let's take a quick listen to it, and then tell us all about it.
Okay.
Feeling haunted
And there's a crew who hide behind a wall that's blue and wear shiny badges too. That makes me feel haunted. Hey, still I'm reaching for the stars. The chef's scale still seems so far. They stay near for my neck until I'm choked out of my breath. My soul cries out under the altar where the martyrs have their domain. They wait for the one next to the Father to take revenge for all those who were slain. It's not just them, it's my own people too. My own share of you who make me feel haunted. Oh, why must we live up to the media hype? It's a man-made stereotype to make us the haunted.
Wow. That's a pretty powerful piece of music, Percy.
Thank you, sir.
And so, as you were recording that, tell me some of the experiences you were having while you were in production of that song.
Just soaking up all the media that I got, and I think the one thing that really got me was when my son came in and we're watching the news together, and he started crying, and I'm like, "Are you okay, man?" He was like, "Why did they shoot those people? Why did this man shoot those people?" And then I was just talking to him about this situation that happened in Minneapolis, and then that happened in Buffalo, and it was back to back. And it was like his sensitivity level was just as high as mine, and I was like, I'm thinking, will this ever stop? Do I have to explain this generation to generation, and his son, my son, had to explain it to his son? You know, hey, as black people, you know, maybe our white brothers and sisters out there that's listening may not have had that talk, but as young black men, all of us have had that talk when we were like maybe adolescent, like around 9, 10, 11 years old.
Definitely by the time we were teenagers.
Yes, yes. Please, my mom and dad would say, we want you to come back home. So please, if the police pull you over, say yes, sir, no, sir. Do not give them no lip. You let them know where you live. If they could call us, tell them to call us, and then you make sure that you are on your best behavior and your best manners, because we want to see you come home. Now that's a reality we had to deal with as young black men, young black people in America for 2 or 3 generations back to back to back to back. You know, so with me absorbing this, and then my son was born in Japan, but I still have to explain this to him. He's still considered a young black man. And it just all came out in the studio, and I was just like, it just flooded. It came out. I didn't write any of those lyrics down. I wrote it down after the fact. It just came out of me and flooded out.
That's true inspiration right there.
Yeah, that was like, man, and I still get chills on my skin is crawling right now. I got chicken skin right now, just looking at my head and my arms, like, wow.
One of our viewers pointed out that historically, music has been one of the ways that we've communicated our feelings and reported events within the community.
Yes.
And even attempted to kind of heal ourselves through the use of music.
Yes.
One of the pieces that was played on the show a little earlier, one that I call Help Me. was written out of a similar sentiment. It says, help me find my way through this darkness to the light of day. Kind of the same question you were asking. Will this ever stop?
Right.
Is there light at the end of the tunnel? How do we get through this and get to a place where it's actually okay? Or does that place even exist?
Right. It's actually okay to be a man, to be human, to be considered a man, and it hurts my heart and saddens me that I have to talk to my son about that, and my daughter too. But it's a necessary evil, because the point of the fact of the matter is that we want them to survive. We want them to be able to come home at night, or come home from wherever they are playing or being out with friends and socializing. And I think people who have not come from our culture, they can't really connect with that experience and understand how that feeling is, and it's hard to explain to someone who hasn't gone through that experience. And that's why I tell people, I'm not judgmental of anybody, because you have to walk a mile in their shoes to know where they come from and what they have to deal with being a man or a woman on this planet.
Well, one of our viewers, familiar with you, PJ.
Oh, who's that?
They call you the man with the golden voice.
Thank you, sir. Whoever that was.
In the midst of the heaviness, there's also the appreciation for the artistry and for the expression. So thank you for that.
Thank you.
Do you have any other pieces that you'd like to share with us?
Sure. I did a song called Brand New Day that was featured a few years ago on a station in Jersey for a woman who had went through a really bad situation. It was a song about it's very rare that coming from a male point of view that we get a chance to dive into things like domestic violence and things that affect women. But we come from women. We are
every one of us,
all of us. So we should be more sensitive.
So when we come back, Percy, we're going to take a short station break, and when we come back, I'd like to wrap up with you about your thoughts on the development of music as it's moving forward and into the future. And I would also like to close out the show with one of your pieces, if that's okay with you.
Oh, great, man. Thank you.
All right. We'll be right back.
Take revenge for those who were slain. When I leave my house, I feel like I'm on the clock. When will this end stop? Me feeling haunted.
Broadcasting live from Atlanta while serving the entire globe. It's the fastest growing radio on the web. It's 106liveradio.com.
Don E. Miller, licensed professional counselor. He has the formula for wholeness: encourage, empower, educate, enrich. It's called the E effect, and it will change your life. The E effect will empower the individual who may be mentally impaired to get involved in programs to help them live a productive life. These programs which also enrich those in need by providing education and information, which promotes a high quality of life. For more information, call Don E. Miller at 678-741-5337 or visit the website at www.theeffect.net.
Calling all authors. Do you want to promote your book? Get heard, get seen, make more money. Douglasville Books and 106 Live Radio is now offering promotional packages to create a better audience just for you. 770-949-4363. Douglasville Books, the people's choice. You're invited to our summer car wash fundraiser. Look at your ride as you cruise down the streets of Atlanta and you'll see something is missing. A good old-fashioned car wash. Well, look no further. Stop by 106 Live Radio in the Metro Fun Center parking lot for a special car wash event on Saturday, June 17th, 11 to 4 p.m. Our Team 106 will provide exceptional services and a fun experience. This is the place where excitement meets diversity 24/7. 1959 Metropolitan Parkway, Atlanta 30315. All proceeds go to the upgrade of our station equipment. See you there.
The Male Perspective, broadcasting on Wednesdays from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. There will be guests and tons of great, useful information. Also talking about what's on your mind. Call in 404-464-8785. That's Wednesdays from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. on 106liveradio.com, where excitement meets diversity 24/7 with your host, Don Miller, and co-host Willie McMahon Jr., along with Ron Robinson. New year, new time, same great show. Remember, that's 106liveradio.com, where excitement meets diversity 24/7. We are heard worldwide.
Maximize your brand. Calling all hosts. Have you ever dreamed of hosting your own show? Well, 106 Live Radio platform is looking for positive, creative, self-motivated individuals and groups. Here you can host your own program. If you are serious and interested in joining our growing platform, King is happy to host you in our state-of-the-art studio. Please reach out to us at 404-622-4152 or send us an email at 106liveradio.com. Bring your best self.
106liveradio.com, Atlanta.
Looking to get away, relax your mind, or take a short trip to your favorite destination? Then book your next trip with Love Travels. With Love Travels, your next trip or vacation will be an enjoyable one. No trip is too large or too small. Love Travels specializes in wine tours, land vacations, and cruises. Since the COVID-19 pandemic, not many people could book a vacation, but at Love Travels, you can now book your next vacation or trip with us. Contact Tilda Love for a consultation and booking information at 404-981-7457 or email at lovetravels590@gmail.com. At Love Travels, we love vacations.
Like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, and be sure to tell everyone else,
ladies and gentlemen,
about 106liveradio.com.
All right, welcome back, everybody. Percy, it's been so nice talking with you, man.
Yes, sir.
And, you know, I'm thinking again, I'd like to ask you this question. Do you think with the developments in music that's occurring right now technologically, do you think there's a path where real artists like ourselves, the human artist, the actual performer, where we'll become obsolete?
That's a good question. I don't think we'll become obsolete, but what I think what will happen is that our presence in the real world will be diminished quite a bit, because of the fact of the matter is that if they can get an AI to sound like a jazz singer, I'll give you a good example. Like right now, there's some makers, Yamaha and a couple of makers that make the autoplay pianos. If you ever been in a store and hear those, and they can go from, okay, let's go to jazz, and then they have a whole section of jazz songs that autoplay, classical autoplay. So I think what will happen is that with the advance of technology, little by little, I think our presence now there's a battle. There's going to be a battle between that, because there's always going to be an audience of people that wants to come out and see live music perform. So that may save us in the mainstay. But if there's just a situation where um, there's just background music, perhaps, then I think that our presence will be diminished quite a bit because of technology.
Well, I often think of the music business as kind of divided up into three sectors.
Mm-hmm.
One I call the music business, because that's where music is actually being sold. And it's not so much that people are doing concerts or, but the music itself is the actual product that's being sold. Then there's the sector of the entertainment business, where it's not so much the music, but it's someone performing the music. And then the third sector, the hospitality sector, where you were just talking about maybe background music.
Right.
I do see where there may be some competition in the hospitality sector. I find it a little disturbing to think that AI may take place of live artists in the entertainment sector, simply because the very act of possibly messing up, of having developed the skills, of displaying a certain amount of talent, of being able to press or push the boundaries of the human limits in performance, is always one of the things that's most entertaining.
Right.
The other thing in the music business, I've been witnessing kind of a change where, for example, in literature, they have AI writing stories in different styles of writers and things like that.
Chat GT, yeah.
Yes, and so now they're actually attempting to do that with music as well.
Oh, they've done it with music. They've done it with someone came out with a fake Drake thing, and you couldn't tell the difference.
Now, here's the thing about that. Here's the thing about that. How impressive is it for a computer program to do something versus a human being doing it? When a computer is programmed to do it, it can't really do anything else but that.
Right.
But a human being has to build themselves into it, and it's part of watching the process, not just the outcome, that's actually interesting and entertaining.
But there'll be science arguments for saying that, well, the computers are still processing it, but the thing is that they're processing it so fast that when it comes out, it's almost okay. It's competing with how fast we think in our minds of problem solving, to the point where it's defeating us so quickly.
Yeah.
That eventually, like for instance, almost all the automotive industry is robotic.
It's automated now.
Everything's automated or robotic. They only have humans coming in, checking safety stuff. That's it.
Well, listen, Percy. While we still have the opportunity, I would like to close out tonight's show with another one of your selections.
Oh, great.
So can you tell us a little bit about the other selection that you have for us?
Yeah, the song called Brand New Day. Like I said, it was based on me just absorbing some things in my society. I try to write about true things. I don't try to grab things out of the air that's just mundane. I try to write about things that happen. And a friend of mine was going through domestic violence one time when I was in Japan, and she ran over to my house, and me and my wife had to console her for a while. And and I'm really, really good friends with her husband, and I had to keep that. She said, "Please don't let him know that I was over here." I had to keep that to myself. And I, without saying any names. So that was part of the beginning of my song, and then also thinking about single mother and single parent households, them dealing with it. So trying to give them encouragement. There's a brand new day on the horizon. There's a new day. So let them know that the sun shines on everyone. Just you have to take,
Well, let's go on and take a listen. If we have brand new day queued up, let's run it.
Looking out the window on a wet and rainy Wednesday, I see a mother clutch her kids and cross the street. She's running late to job number 2. The car won't start and the rain is deep, but she can't remember what she had to eat. And the landlord's pounding on the door. She can't afford rent anymore, so she's wondering how she's going to survive with 2 kids.
I want to thank everybody for tuning in tonight. I'm so glad Percy was here. Thank you, Percy, once again, sharing your thoughts, your talents, and your expressions with us.
Thank you so much for having me, man. Appreciate it. Anytime.
New day, I can see the sun. Just hold on. These times don't last forever. Sun shines on everyone. Yeah. Brand new day, I know it's coming. There's a new day where the skies are clear. Brand new day. And if you need me, then I'll always be right here for you. Always right here. Oh, yeah. Always right here for you. Always right here. Always right here. Couple down the hall from me, it's fighting almost nightly. And the other day, I think he hit her face. Her Jackie O's highs and blows. He says he doesn't want her to go. He's only using her to help him with his place. But I wonder, does she have any friends that'll take her in? If she can be strong and just hold on, start life again. In this brand new day, on the horizon there's a new day. I can see the sun, just hold on. These times don't last forever.
We're signing off, everybody. Thank you once again, Percy. And just one note. Love each other, everybody.
That's right. Gotta love each other. Yeah.
See you guys next week.
Brand new day. If you need me, then I'll always be right here. Right here. Yes, I believe in you, and you should believe too. Whatever it is you go through, just put your hands in the Lord to see. He can do the most miraculous thing that you ever did see. You only believe, oh, gotta believe in something. Only believe, you got to believe in something. If you only believe, ooh, if you only believe, hey, you gotta believe in something. If you only believe. You got to believe in something. My soul cries out from under the altar, where the martyrs have their domain. They wait for the one next to the Father to take revenge for all those who were slain. And I leave my house, feel like I'm on the clock. When will this end stop? Me feeling haunted. And there's you who hide behind a wall that's blue and wear shiny badges too. That makes me feel haunted. Hey, still I'm reaching for the stars. How the chef's scale still seems so far. Please stay near upon my neck until I'm choked out of my breath. My soul cries out from under the altar, where the martyrs have their domain. They wait for the one next to the Father to take revenge for all those who were slain. It's not just them, it's my own people too. My own share of you, who made me feel haunted. Oh, why must we live up to the media hype? It's a man-made stereotype to make us the haunted.